All right, we're back on another episode of Interview with Fatfunny. Today we got Eastside Lenny, the legendary Eastside Lenny. So we're just gonna get right into it. So, like, how did you get here? Like, we know you're a musician, but like, how did you go from birth to here?
Birth to here?
Yeah, it was a short version.
I'll say that's a bit of a long story, but to put it short, I was born in the Bronx, lived there for about 13, 14 years, then moved up to Stratford, Connecticut. And I was between like Stratford, Bridgeport, in school and all. I was like really an athlete as a kid. My mother had me also in like a lot of extracurricular activities, so like piano, choir, different instruments and whatnot and stuff too. But the jock thing kind of took over a lot in high school. And right after high school, I don't know, I just tapped back into my roots with this music. And I don't know, it's been a rap ever since. I just been making music, putting out music, performing, writing for others. Anything you can say in music, I'm doing it right now.
All right, so at what age did you say you fell in love with music?
What age?
Because I'm gonna say you're a music. You can tell people that you can tell rappers, you can tell artists, you can tell musicians. It's clear you're a musician. So like, when 100%. Did you?
I'm not gonna lie, and it's funny you say that because I fall in love. I don't know. That's too cliche for me. But I knew I had a different type of relationship with it as a child. Me and my brother, off of just like how we would listen to radio and just be able to play exactly what we was hearing and stuff. And we don't like really forget melody at all. Like at all, we don't forget melody. And I just realized even like when people will forget things and I will remember certain shit in music or just melody or harmonies and whatnot, I realized I had a different relationship with it. So it was early on, man. Like what, 6, 7 years old, probably early.
So would you say you're more in love with the music or you just want the fame? Because a lot of people, they do it and you can tell they just want the fame.
Nah, I don't really care too much about that. I want my music to touch people. I want my music to change people's days like it changes mine. The fame and all that, that's cool. I mean, I'm human. I like attention. I mean, I want people to listen to my stuff. So of course, I guess the fame has to come with it. But it's more therapeutic than that. Yeah, the fame. I've seen what it does to people. I'm not really interested in it.
Oh shit! Never mind. I love a stint in rehab real quick. It's like, all right, but how did Eastside Lenny transform from Say Kiro? Because like when I first found you, and I didn't even know you was that young. I'm not even gonna lie, I thought you was older because you've been doing this for a minute.
Right.
So like I was, oh shit, that's the same person. And damn, he's still in his 20s. You've been doing it so long.
Yeah.
I would think you like 30 something. So like, what made the transition?
I always had an older soul. Like ever since I was a kid, I was always like the youngest in my class, like by a couple years always. So I always had to fit in with like the older crowd and even older than them. So
you must be a Virgo, Libra, or it's like your birthday towards the end.
That's crazy.
Because that's the same thing with me. I was like the youngest one in the bunch.
Virgo, right in September. But what was the question again? I'm sorry.
So that wasn't even the right answer.
Nah, like, as soon as you said Virgo, I just started thinking about the people that hate Virgos, and then I just you know how that.
Nah, they different, but like, all right. So how did Say Kiro? You can pronounce it. I never
Say Kiro
turned to Eastside Lenny.
Oh, okay. So yeah, going back to the old soul thing, I came in as like a rager. I came in, turning the crowd up. I came in, I'm the party starter. Like everybody knows that about me. And what people fail to forget is the one who kind of starts that gets tired of it first. So I got real tired of it about like 3-4 years ago of just I can't perform unless I look like I just got out of a basketball game after. That's kind of crazy. I'm like, I'm not in that good of shape, bro. Like, So I started making different music. And not only did I feel like that, like the music was representative of that. So I started making more like R&B stuff, but at least it still kept the essence of like the rap cadences and whatnot. So with that, it just didn't match the Say Kiro name. I talked to a good friend of mine. He told me, bro, I think what you need to do is rebrand. And I realized that nobody I'm like a super fan of is like the same name they is when they started. So had to change it up. Eastside Lenny.
All right, so you kind of summed it up, but what would you say like the main difference between the two characters are?
One is a professional. One knows exactly. Like Eastside Lenny knows exactly what he's doing when he's on the boards. When his intention is pure and clear every time. Say Curl was kind of like rambunctious all over the place.
It's basically like a freshman. You was just kind of learning everything. Now this one is more of like an artist, a developed product.
100%. Yeah.
All right, so you say you were born in the Bronx. What's the difference between growing up in the Bronx and kind of like finishing your growth in Connecticut? And how would you say it influenced you?
It kind of made me always feel like I was out of place at first. Because I mean, I go back to the Bronx, and then by the time I'm like 2 years in here, it's like the culture and all this is different from the Bronx, you know. So in layman's terms, I go back to New York, I'm too white for the blacks. I come back up here, sometimes I'm too black for the whites. So it kind of put me in my own world, me and my brother in my own world, which kind of reflects in the music. Like I'm very unique in my sound, and even though I do R&B, it's my style of R&B because I'm not too accepted by the R&B heads. At the same time, the rap heads is like, why aren't you rapping more? So everything's a reflection of like kind of how always out of place I am, but I'm very comfortable.
But you're you. That's how I tell me. I'm a nigga. Wherever I go, I'm like, I am gonna be real. I'm gonna be a little bit of ignorant, a little bit of intelligent, but I'm gonna be me 100%.
100%.
All right. So what makes you different from other artists? And like you can tell, not to give you your flowers, but like you can tell the standard of artists like you and all the people you be around than it's everybody else. And it's sad to say that, but you can like tell the time and perfection people put into their art. So like, how would you say you're different from anybody else?
It's probably my background. My background is in music, so I have a different type of respect for it. And that's all it is. I don't blame the people who's in it just for the fame. I don't blame the people who's in it because they heard their friend's song that was fire. I don't blame them. That's how they got into music. So that's what they're gonna aspire to be. That's what they're gonna. That's their threshold. Mine is just way bigger. Like
it's not wrong, but you can just tell the difference. As a consumer of music and the culture, you can tell. Oh, he put time into this. Him,
100%.
He got a tight beat and just like he did what he thought he was doing.
Mm-hmm. And some of those people make hits. I listen to a lot.
They'd be the ones, the overnight celebrities. You'd be like, oh wow.
Yeah. We need them too. Like it's an even balance. I'm not mad at either side and stuff, but I know where I stand for sure.
So, what are some of your musical influences?
Musical influences. When I came in, I was like heavy on like A$AP Rocky, Chance the Rapper, Lupe Fiasco, T.I., Future, of course, Drake. But then, you know, there's 7 days in the week. So 3 of those days I might be listening to rap. And then the other days I'm on my Brian McKnight, Carl Thomas, Neo, Usher. But it's like early. And I realize now that shaped exactly who the fuck I am right now. Like those 3 days here, 4 days of this, on Sunday go to church, Monday put it all together. And that's literally like every day is a Monday for me now. I'm always putting it like my roots together. Like,
and you can tell that in music. I feel like everybody that's like, that was my phone. Everybody that's rooted in church, it goes church, R&B, then rap. But you can tell it in the music. I feel like circular music is losing the church aspect. Like that's why everything's like, this is trash. Like you can't, it don't hit like it used to hit. But there's people like you and other people that, you can tell they had to go to Sunday school. It's like people, we know we had to go to Sunday school. So we know we can hear, I ain't gonna say we hear God in the music, but like we can hear like that training from having to go to choir practice. Even when we didn't want to go, we had to go. So we know what music is.
100%.
All right. So what's the creative process like for you? Because I know you ain't searching tight beats. So like,
not at all. Creative process for me is it depends. What am I doing? Am I writing am I doing something for myself? Am I doing something for somebody else?
So you multifaceted. So like when you in your zone creating for yourself.
When I'm in my zone creating for myself, doesn't matter how many people's in there. Doesn't matter if I'm only in there. I'm normally either playing around with chords or I work with like a lot of loop makers. Shout out to the loop makers that send me a lot of loops, and I'm big on drums. Like I do all my own drums and whatnot. So yeah, it's normally starting with me making the beat, probably, or I work like closely with my producer and manager, Flawless. He's probably making the beat or something like that. We're just cooking up in the studio. Maybe the guys is over, we're drinking, smoking, whatever the case may be. And it's normally something in conversation that someone might say or something that I went throughout the day. I normally have it. And that process may sound like maybe like a 5, 6, 7 hour day, but I promise you that's like an hour. Like an hour. So beat made, little chit chat, hook. Right after that, the song's pretty much done after I get my hooks done. So it's a very quick process when I'm like working for myself versus working for another artist. If I'm working with another artist and they're like new to me, I normally like to interview them. Like as we're doing right now, I want to get to know them. I want to see what makes them tick. And it's everything but music. Like I don't talk about music for the first like 3-4 hours when I'm working with somebody. Like, cause I found that if I understand what makes you tick in real life, everybody has a rhythm. Everybody has a BPM. If I find out what makes you tick in real life, the music is secondary. Like it's second nature after that. You know what I mean?
Creative. I'm telling you, this is deep. I ain't never had a deep conversation like this. Like,
nah, it's real though. It's real. And anybody that works with me and leaves, they say the same thing. It's like most of the time it's their favorite song or it's a session that they've never kind of quite been a part of and stuff. And that's only because I respect the craft. Like,
and you learn a person, so you know what they're going through. It's like that makes a good songwriter. Like
we don't got to be best friends, but I got to know you, bro.
Right.
Like, or miss.
Whoever you are, whatever your cash app is. All right. So how many instruments you play? You can tell you're a musician. How many instruments you play?
Play the piano, the drums, the recorder, the violin.
Violin?
Yeah. Mommy had us in violin, right, bro?
Oh, baby.
Yeah, had us in violin too. And that was it. My dad taught us how to play the harmonica as a kid, but that one, if you don't practice that, it flees from you. So it's pretty much that. Okay.
So what's your favorite part of creating? And can you create sober?
Can I create sober? Yeah.
And what's the best music? Because I've interviewed people and honestly, I would feel like I would make the best art when I'm faded. Because you just like, the limitations is off. It's like, you're not nervous about nothing. You don't care what nobody say. You're authentic self I know when I'm faded. It's like, that's the best time for me because like I'm the most creative because I don't care what people think.
Right.
So like, what about you?
See, now that was the difference between the Say Curl and the Eastside Lenny. Say Curl, I felt dependent and almost believed like I believe in God that I needed to be faded to make music. And now I understand that it's not so much the getting faded that, allows me to be myself. It's the getting faded that allows me to accept what I'm hearing back. So now that I know that I can make a whole song sober, and then like maybe the cherry on the top might be, I get high at the end of it while I'm listening to it back. And some days I'm smoking through the whole fucking thing. But I know the difference.
I don't think weed is intoxicated to me. I know that's crazy, but like that's
saying it to most people like that, you think, but they haven't smoked as long, nor do they have the same. Some people's brains literally make them get paranoid when they smoke. Some people's brains do the opposite. Like, to each their own, man. To each their own. So, yeah, I could do it either or.
Okay. So, what's your thoughts on the CT music scene right now? Because like you've been in it, around it, and I'm kind of new to it, and it'd just be like a lot of fuck shit. I'd be like, huh? Yeah. So, like, what's your thoughts?
I'm a fan of a lot of people out here. I know that much. It's grown. It's been growing every year. The people who I prayed to see still here, like about 5-6 years ago. They're still here. People who I banked on to be here, they're still here. I feel the only thing that's missing now is, and people need to stop being so cliche, we need to work together. No, it's actually like I just said, get in a room with somebody and know somebody. Like, some people, I've linked with some artists, and the only reason they wanted to link was to get a song out of me. Like sometimes I link with some artists just to hear what you got going on. Like play me 3 hours worth of music if you can. Like,
and they don't even have 3. Like that's it. It's a process. Like, bro,
right.
You can't make that one song and think you're gonna make it. Like, it's songs. You gotta have songs in the cut.
Right. Yeah. I tell people that all the time because like the first day when I made my first song, like was received well by like the people around me. And I was the only one panicking when that happened because I was like, oh shit, I don't think they know this is the only one I got.
He's like, I don't have
They come to the studio, I got nothing. Like, you know what I mean? So that fear and that sense of urgency rather has always been in my head since that day. But yeah, stock up on music. Stock up on music for sure, folks. Like,
what's the most songs you made in a day?
Probably like 8, 9, somewhere around there.
Oh damn.
Yeah, when you start to live in the studio, it's like sometimes you ask basketball players how many times they like got a full ass workout in a day. They might say 3, 4, and you're like, what the fuck? In 24 hours?
Yeah. I think about doing one to get depressed. So like, shit, it ain't working for me.
Right.
So,
but when your muscles is trained for it, their muscles, this muscle for me, like when your muscles is trained for it, it's seamless. Like I live in the studio. I'm a studio rat. So
that's the difference between the artist and the musician. So who are some of your favorites in CT right now?
My favorites in CT?
You know, like you could bank on, they gonna make it.
They gonna make it? Of course, from my own camp, Joseph Gray, Smile Little Crybaby. For Val, that's my little brother. He also makes music. He's gonna be on something that I'm dropping soon too.
Outside your camp though, because I'm always gonna bet on my people.
Outside
so
my,
like, yeah, so
100%. But like this year is kind of like not that we've all had to do our own thing, but it's like we kind of all had to do our own thing, and in that I've seen them grow in their own respect.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%. Like even if say me and my team, if I make it, we all make it. So like, who outside of your people? I
respect that too. Outside of my people, Trey Moore, Trey Moore's fire, fucking MDZ, Last Night Shy. First of all, the biggest out of all of us right now is Zay France. Shout out Zay France and the doors he's opening right now.
Nah, he's dope too.
Like if people don't know, like shout out Zay France.
If you're watching this, if you come back to Connecticut, I definitely want to interview. Go ahead.
I'm here. He'll tap in. He fuck with the times and stuff. Shout out Mizzy Lot. Shout out Nate Official, Jay Esco. Robbie 100K. There's this kid I've been working with named LaSaint. Shout out LaSaint. LaSaint is super fire. I know, and these are all people like you said. I know there's gonna go. It's just a matter of time. Shit, bro. If I'm leaving anybody out, I know you. You know I got you.
See, I like that though, because you just seen people like I don't know most of them names.
Yeah,
but it's because you're in the scene more than me. And like when I ask people that question, they name the obvious, and like the obvious. They're hood famous, not to discredit nobody, but like, like, bro, they ain't going nowhere but to the corner store. Like you are naming people that's working. So like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about you as a performer. Like a lot of people, they're studio people. So when you put them on the stage, it's like, you're not getting my $15 for this ticket. I'm just going to be honest. Like I spend money to get a show.
Right.
And like, is you and a couple other people, when like I watched the clips and shit, and I seen you perform live like twice. You put a little smile, like, oh yeah, this nigga working. Like you give somebody their money's worth. People get on the stage, it's boring. It's that you can tell they didn't rehearse. They don't know the song. They want you to do the work. How do you go into a performance?
As confident as I could be, honestly. I don't know. Something switches when I go on that stage. Like I used to wonder what people like used to mean when something they said like I'll get on the stage or I get on the court or I get on the field and something just snaps. Like for me, basketball, when I was hooping, nothing never snapped when I got on the court. I just got out and I played and I did my fucking best. Here, something snaps. Like,
something snaps, especially for me, because like if people don't know, I'm a shy ass person, but like you hit record, I'm a personality. Like whatever you need, I'm there. Yeah. So like, what would you, if you can give some pointers to somebody that's like starting out and want to put on a good show? What would you give him?
Anybody that's knows me record, anybody that's seen me perform, they know the first thing I always do is like tell people to come closer. Like I know COVID just passed, but it's gone. Come closer. I don't bite. Motherfucker next to you probably don't bite. Just come closer. Eye contact. A lot of people are scared of eye contact. And it's not really, you don't have to, they're scared of eye contact because they don't know who to look at in the crowd. Pick your 4 people, bro, and circulate through them for your whole set. And I promise you, when you're looking back on camera, it's going to look like you're talking to the whole crowd. It's going to look fire
because you're looking at everybody. The whole time, I'm looking at my cousin that know me. Right. So it is what it is. Yeah. Right. They see me rehearse this. So I'm hitting everything I need to hit.
Right. And like it's funny you say your cousin, because like in my life, like my North Star is my brother. So in most of my shows, he's always going to be there. Like, and he's always been like an energy for me to bounce off of. And even when he's not there, I'm thinking of how he would.
You need that.
Reacting,
like, I got a couple of people like you. Right, that's my energy. One, I know that person there. Ain't nothing going wrong. Nah. I'm gonna hit everything I need to say. Right. They gonna love it. Even if they don't love it, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I had you laughing. I had you like so. It worked.
Yeah, man.
All right. So it's been almost 4 years since you dropped the album. Why now?
It's time. It's been cooking this whole time. I've been living life this whole time. I've been going through things this whole time. And the body of work is complete. Like, and it's been complete for like about 4 or 5 months now too. Only thing is the business side of it, trying to make sure it's received and gets to the places it needs to get. You know what I mean? Because I get it. Like, to people around here, I am their local artist, but I'm for the world, bro. Like, I can move some things in the world.
And I feel like that's what Connecticut is missing. Like, we do great with our peers, but like far as catapulting it out, it's like, damn, we all miss that. Like, it's not one person that did it right. And I know we don't have the answer. Let's just be real. So like, I feel like, and with your music, it's dope. So I feel like if you put it together right and really take your time for the business, you out of here. Like you want to go out of here.
Love, man.
All right. So I was watching another interview you did. One, I loved how you big Connecticut up. It was the cold, like cut, like you just dropped it. I forgot to
cut different. Yeah. Shout out Ryder.
You shout out CT, and like, I'm not gonna say he tried to downplay CT, but like you stepped up and like, nah, that's a lot of great talent in CT. So I want to shout you out for that. But what I really wanted to say is, like you said, you do like X amount of songs for an album. So how did you pick the songs for your upcoming album?
There's the initial cut down from myself. And then there's the people that I choose to have around me. My brother, my manager. Like I said, Smilo, Crybaby, Joseph. The people that I allow to be around me in the studio. I bring the music to them in portions over a certain times of the month. And I do my own little tallies here and there. Okay, this one, this one. And some things I'm just too hard-headed about, even on the album. It's like, nah, this is going on it, whether none of y'all liked it or not. But I got good people around me, man. I got great people around me.
So it looks like you have a team that you can trust in. So how well do you handle criticism? Because I know with me, even with this, like, it's like, damn, one, I hate watching something that I did because like, damn, I could have did this better. I could have did this better. But how do you feel when it's coming from like your peers? And like people you trust, so you know they mean well. So like I gotta take, even if I'm not, nigga, that's a hit. What you talking about? Right. How do you handle that?
I'm very big on to each their own. This world is too big to not believe there's a million niggas that share the same opinion as me. I just gotta reach them. If this person in front of me isn't the person that gets it, the person after him is you gotta keep going.
I feel like that's the biggest thing with everybody. Any type of creative. Like, you might don't like it, but you're not gonna tell me this shit not a hit. Like, I know somebody gonna feel where I'm coming from, or they got where I was coming from.
Yeah. And I receive those criticisms too and stuff, because like people are different. They didn't hear it the way you wanted them to hear it because of what they're naturally fans of and stuff. And once you break the science of what they're naturally a fan of, you might be able to implicate some of that into your own music and watch what you come with. So I mean, I feel like the people who make these new genres or come up with these new sounds are the people who are listening to the motherfuckers who was telling them, nah, this ain't it. But they were listening, why you think this ain't it? And now it's it.
All right, so what does a team look like for Eastside Lenny? Like, you shot a couple of people out, but like, how do you put your finished product out?
Through How do I put the album out?
No. Who's your team? Like before,
like,
how do you put together, the finished product of Eastside look like? Your everyday people. You shouted a couple people out, but
Flawless, my creative director and videographer, Danny, Dr. Visuals, myself, my brother. That's that.
That's it.
Yeah, that's that, bro. And like the artists that I work with and whatnot. But other than that, you're looking at it. There's no like marketer. There's no nothing like. That's the team right there, and we go hard for each other.
All right, so let's talk about your first single from the album, TTG. One, it's a hit. Like that shit. Like that's what CT need. Like if you get what I'm saying, like people dropping music, but it's like it's cool statewide, but like this is commercial. This is like something that people gonna gravitate to. So how did you pick that song as a single, or was that one of the ones like you played to everybody and it was like this the one?
I knew it as soon as I recorded that one. Like I knew it as soon as I did that one. It was really late in the studio one night. My man's Ryan was with me, and I had just finished like 2 or 3 songs, and he was hungry, I was hungry, and every time I feel that way, there's always a moment where it's either like you pack it up and you go, or put that little extra 10 minutes in. And I swear to God, though, that was the extra 10 minutes.
10 minutes. It only took you 10 minutes to do that song.
Bro, I heard the loop. I dragged it in. I put the drums down in like 5 minutes. And then that, why you got a nigga with you in my face? That was like that. Like it was so clear.
Say that all the time. It'd be the ones they put no effort into that. Like, oh damn, this the hit.
Mm-hmm. But it's because I was so like, I relate a lot of things back to basketball and stuff, but a motherfucker's best game might have to be like at LA might be at like after his first like 4 games when he's already stretched out. He might be jumping his highest and shit. I was right after 3 songs. I was my most creative and
so
stuff.
I'm about to say the juice is flowing. Like I can go for hours now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like so, and I did. I stayed right there. I told him go home if you want to, bro, and I'm gonna stay here. And I made a couple more after that. So,
damn talent. All right, so you named the album Soft Gangster.
Mm-hmm.
Why that? Because it's not many niggas that want to be called a soft gangster. So
yeah, I know. I like the shock value of it. Whenever when I told it to my brother first, he just looked at me, and I was like, "That's the exact response I wanted." Like, because if it was something just like regular and stuff, then it just would have been regular. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But now, if you want to understand me, then you're gonna look at the name different. If you don't want to understand me, then you're gonna hope that the music is bad, but either way, you're gonna listen. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It was controversial, but at the same time, it was honest. Anybody that knows me, like personally, they understand that's kind of my vibe. My speech is soft, but at the same time, it's like I don't really like to be tested too much, and that's not like no tough guy bravado and stuff. I hate violence because I know where it goes.
I can go there, but that's not even my character. I feel that like it's not why. What you mad for?
No, yeah.
All right, so what does the overall album sound like? Because hearing Soft Gangster, I hear R&B. I don't know about nobody else, but like if it give you back like the back in the day Genuine and them, like they got on the jeans with the leather shirts and all that shit. Like that's what when I hear that, that's what like
that's so crazy. Because when I came up with Soft Gangster, I did not know so many people was gonna like talk about this leather shit, bro. Like I swear to God,
it gave me the early Diddy days. Pause. like
Diddy in trouble right now, boy. But yeah, what's the music gonna be like? Of course it's R&B, like by BPM and stuff, but the drums are so hard, like the lyrics are so I'm not slow with it. I don't think R&B is lazy. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that it's too slow for me sometimes lyric wise. Mm-hmm. Like you look at a lyric sheet for an R&B song, it's I will always love you because you're my very best. And, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can read it out. That's not my bop. That's not my bop. My shit got punches in it. My shit is catchy. You could tell my wit from this album, really. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's just my take on R&B, like how I do it.
So would you categorize yourself as an R&B artist or?
Yeah. And then in a couple of years, I'm going to categorize myself as a country artist when I'm doing country.
Beyonce.
You know what I mean? Like,
all right. So do you think R&B is dead?
No, absolutely not. I listen to too much R&B to think that.
I think it's just real niche now. It's not mainstream. So you got the people you fuck with. So like the people in the public, they're not going to realize it's music out there. There's new artists out there every day. Y'all just not listening.
Yeah.
But when you're an R&B type of person, you know, oh no, this is a bop. This today, it's just not mainstream. All right, so I kind of asked this question earlier. How are you planning to promote the album? Because like I said, a lot of people locally, we always miss this point. We can have a fire project, then the rollout is trash. We just got to call it what it is. So like, how do you plan to promote the project?
Heavy on the short form content on Instagram.
Right, that's how I knew your song so much. You nigga got like 30 videos of the chorus, and it's like, now stuck in my head. Now,
yeah, and that was the first time I ever like really just sat down, disciplined. It was like, this is. No matter how much music I make in this time span, I'm only showing them TTG. Mm-hmm. And I fucked up a couple times and still put a couple other ones, but it was just TTG, like just TTG. So
and you think it's too much, but no, that's how you got to get them. Like you think, damn, they're gonna be tired of hearing this, but no,
it's a big world. Like, and that's how small minded some people can like turn into in Connecticut is because they only see what's around them, and it's just not Connecticut. There's people who feel like this in Montana.
But I was
watching like, it don't matter.
An interview with like I'm Daquan. He was like, you might post it 7 times, but that's gonna be that person first time hearing it. So like, why not keep posting it?
Right.
And I swear to God, that shit clicked him. He right. Like I can never stop posting my content because like I'm not that nigga. Somebody gonna see it again like I didn't see it before.
Yeah.
All right, so we about to play a game.
Okay.
It's called In These Tweets. So a lot of time we go to Twitter to get our rocks off because we don't think nobody up there no more. Especially since Elon bought them. Like we don't think nobody up there. So like we just want you to expound on some of the stuff that you tweeted. So first thing. You said holding you down and holding you back looks the same after the first 6 months. Talk about it.
I was living in my past. I was a little too high when I tweeted that. I was reminiscing on certain things that certain women had said to me before.
So somebody said that to you, or you said it to somebody?
No, I mean it's the things they said to me, and I realized like now years later, I'm like, holy shit, like. Our first 6 months together, thinking that it was like the Goo Goo Gaga, like mushy mush time was actually the slowest I've ever been.
You know what I mean? You don't realize when you win shit, you get out of situations like you just wasted my life. I fucking hate you.
Yeah, and I did it like 2 times back to back, and I'm like, bro, what am I doing? So it was just like a realization for me at that point when I tweeted that shit.
All right. Making yourself seem like a prize when you can be bought is crazy to me. The girls gotta chill.
That's a fact. I think I was on Twitter and I just saw some girl talking about how you got to pay her to be with her and stuff, but then she wants to be married, and like I thought the whole point of marriage was to have your wife as like the prize. Even vice versa. I would hope you feel like your husband is a prize. I got the best man out here for me. But if everybody got money and all it is money to get that with you, then how are you the prize? That just don't make no sense to me.
Oh, shit. Do you, sister? Shit. Right. You gonna get your coin? If they gonna subscribe for $5.99, you do you.
And I'm all with that. Like I'm all with shorties doing whatever the fuck they want to do. It's just I have a problem with hypocrites when I see those same people complain about having a hard time finding love. It's like you boxing yourself out.
You don't want love. You want a subscriber. You want you want somebody to spend money on you.
And that's okay. You can't have both.
It's off topic. I got another question. What was your thoughts on the girl that the guy sent her $30 for lunch and she got mad because she wanted $100?
I hope you found another girl.
That's some shit you text back, bitch. That's not even like what?
I hope you found another girl. That's crazy.
All right, so the next one is I stopped being humble about who I am when I already knew who I was. You talking big right there.
Yeah, that was the reason for changing my name. Like I I was unsure. As rambunctious as I was at Sakura, I was unsure. Eastside Lenny, I'm sure this is what I need to do for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm positive about it. I know who I am.
All right. So this is the last one. You let me down. If you let me down, you'll never know without me saying a word. And I felt that because that's like me. I ain't even gonna make a big deal about it. Like if I because one, I don't rely on people much. So if I'm coming to you and you say you're gonna do something for me, and you don't do it, you ain't gotta worry about me saying no. I'm just gonna move on. But what did you mean when you said that?
Essentially exactly that. Like, and most of the times, I'm always tweeting about probably like a girl I'm dealing with at the time. So that was probably like. It's not their fault all the time too, because sometimes I be in my Delulu stage sometimes, being like, yo, maybe I'm expecting too much, or maybe I'm not doing enough. So if I was expecting too much and I never said nothing about it, and I get disappointed, that's kind of hypocritical, or like that's outlandish for me to say something to you about something I never told you about. You know what I mean? So that's why I say on both sides. Like I know my crazy. Like so I know myself. I know my crazy too.
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from you. I know somebody else said, "I am who I am." I know me, so like I'm kind of crazy, but I know me, and I'm okay with it.
Right.
All right. So when's the album coming out?
So before the album comes out, I'm gonna do like a 6-song EP. I told you it was a lot of music that went into the creation of the album, and I wouldn't call these songs leftovers. They're like it just turned into almost like a prequel to the album, and it's called Before I Get Gangsta. So yeah, that's coming out in maybe 2-3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna start seeing that a lot on my Instagram and whatnot. I just been kind of mixing and mastering the music for the past couple of weeks. So if anybody see me slow up on TTG promo on Instagram, that's why I'm like I said, I focus on the music first. Mm-hmm. All that other shit would be second.
All right. So what does the future look like for you? What 5 years? Where you want to see Eastside Lenny?
With multiple studios in Connecticut, spanning over the fucking 3 hours it takes to drive through the state. Definitely living somewhere else. I have a couple in mind. I have a couple places in mind. My mother retired. My father retired. It's been way too long. And everyone around me good. Yeah.
Simple.
I know I'm going to be making music, so that's so like redundant to say like, oh, I'm going to be making this album. Like I know I'm going to be making that album, but those
on a grander scale.
Yeah, that's what's first to me.
All right. So where can everybody find you at?
Eastside Lenny on Instagram, Eastside Lenny on all streaming platforms, and Eastside Lenny 03 on Twitter. I don't even know if people was watching my tweets. That's crazy you brought that.
That's why I go to Twitter. It's like, that's where you get your rocks. Like, ain't nobody looking at this. We only watch porn on Twitter. Like we not really getting our shit on. All right, I want to thank you for coming through. Make sure y'all watch this interview and our other ones, and listen to it where you get your podcast at. Thanks for coming through. We out.
Sure. Thank you, brother.